October brand panel for Tots100, and we have the lovely Emma from Emma and Me participating. Katie from Mummy Daddy Me. Is it Mummy Daddy Me Make 3, Katie?
I don't really know. I haven't really decided. Mummy Daddy Me, I think.
Mummy Daddy Me.
Yes.
We've got, is it Clara or Clara?
Clara.
Clara. Lovely, that's the way my cousin pronounces it. Clara and Kirsty from My Two Mums as well. Me, I'm the editor of Tots100, but I also blog at Mother's Always Right. So we're talking about 3 brand campaigns, 3 blogger outreach campaigns, Save the Children's Born to Read campaign, Paul's Yard Boomer Bike reviews, and John Lewis's Alice Temperley preview event. So first of all, I thought we'd chat about the Save the Children campaign, which has been quite prevalent this week across the internet, their Born to Read campaign. Emma, you're nodding your head. I know you're a teacher, aren't you? So you must have some opinions about this one.
Yeah, not only am I a teacher, I'm a teacher of sociology, so the things that we study every day, poverty and how it still affects kids. And I've worked in 2 schools, one of them more deprived than the other, and you know, poverty exists, and I see lots of it throughout the classes that I teach and the kids that I come into contact with every single day. So this campaign was really important as soon as I saw it, and I thought the messages coming from teachers was quite powerful as well, because obviously it was talking about kids leaving school not being able to read and write properly, and that's quite an opening to bash teachers, whereas you know I wanted to show that us teachers know that, and you know we want it to change.
And Chris Mosler, who she actually hosted a Twitter party on behalf of Save the Children, didn't she? She used to be a teacher. Do you think that the way that, I mean, I know that as a blogger, I saw lots of blog posts about this. In terms of, were you aware of the campaign? Did you come see any of the stuff on Twitter or read any of the posts? Katie, did you come across it?
Yes, I did. I mean, I've seen it sort of being bandied around Twitter over the last few days. I didn't see Chris's particularly, but I did see it sort of being shown around. So no, I was aware of the campaign.
And Claire and Kirsty, were you aware of the campaign? Have you come across it?
Again, I was aware of it, of some visibility on Twitter, but to be honest, I hadn't read any posts, but I was aware of tweets.
It's quite interesting because they had a hashtag, Education Matters, which is the hashtag they were using on Twitter, and they were encouraging bloggers to tweet about it. Do you think that having the added Twitter presence really helped the campaign in terms of the way that you were aware of it?
I think so, yes, because I'm sorry.
It's all right, Katie. You chip in. So you think that the Twitter, having it on Twitter, helped you sort of come across it, Katie?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I read a couple of posts on it actually, but it sort of Twitter brought it to my attention more. So no, I think it was definitely good, and I like the hashtag as well.
Did you blog about it yourself, Emma, on your blog?
Yeah, I blogged about it on was it for Thursday morning, and I've been in touch with Chris. She had got in contact with me start of the week and said would I be interested, and sent me all the press releases. And I thought what she did was really good actually, because I had plenty of time to get my post together, and she had given me all the facts and the key messages that they were looking to have included, and then just sort of left it to us to approach it how we want. I saw a lot about sort of reading with your children and doing the bedtime reading, which I thought was really nice as well, and just reminding everyone how important reading is.
And Clara and Kirsty, when you were saying that you hadn't come across many of the blog posts about it, but you'd seen it on Twitter, what did you sort of like about what you did see?
It was the sharing of the odds statistic, I think, that kind of, because the way I tend to read Twitter, I kind of browse and then something will catch my eye, and I think that reading things like that was what caught my eye, and it's because I'm usually sort of don't have much time when I'm scrolling through, so I think that's possibly why I didn't click through to any posts, because I tend to read them at night. So I think at the time it wasn't the best time for me to sort of click through. So I think it was just little bits that I kept catching that made me read it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I agree. Like when I go through Twitter, it's in between, you know, having my son with me, so I agree. I just flick through really, really quickly on things, and so I'm not really necessarily looking for the hashtag.
But you were aware of it, so
yeah,
yes,
it must have come. Okay, so it seems like they did quite a good job of sort of making people aware of it, but possibly, what would you say that they might do differently again, Katie, if you, from your perspective as someone who's like consuming those posts and the messages?
I think perhaps, I mean, it could just be the circles of blogs that I read, but I only saw it on a couple of, you know, because obviously with the hashtag you don't get to see as much, you know, if you're just browsing through Twitter you don't get to see as much of the, you know, if you don't actually click onto anything. So I think perhaps if maybe there'd been a few more posts about it, I don't know whether that was, I mean, Emma just said that she had plenty of time to write it, but perhaps if there, you know, maybe just a few more sort of getting it out there a bit more, I think, on actual blogs rather than just on Twitter.
What do you think, Emma?
Yeah, I think maybe, again, I think it's hard to think because I saw a lot of the posts, but it was the people that I'm chatting to anyway, and I think that's, you know, Chris had approached a number of people, and they happen to be the people that I talk with anyway or read. So like Katie was saying, in the circle that I was, it was quite prevalent, and I read a lot of posts that morning. But again, I think maybe it's making sure reach goes out to different sort of groups of bloggers, maybe, isn't it, or approaches them. You know, it's hard to find the groups, isn't it, and get people from each group.
Different. I mean, I know I read your post. Hello, it's Gemma blogged about it as well, and Chris blogged about it, and I follow all of those blogs, and I think you've all got school-age children as well, haven't you? It's quite interesting. So, okay, that's cool. I think we talk about Paul's Yard next, with the Boomer bike reviews. This is like a balance bike that I haven't come across before until I saw it on the blog of Not Another Mummy blog. What did you all see the review that I'm referring to? What did you think about it, Kirsty and Clara? Did you see the review?
Yeah, we have seen it.
I thought it was a brilliant review.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's a great use of pictures along with quite a bit of content, because quite a lot of times you don't get a huge amount of content. Some people just kind of put up a product and you don't really get much feel behind it, sort of thing, and I just love the depth that you get with that.
Yeah, and it's they've laid, you know, with that review as well. I mean, I'm talking like personally about that review. It's set out really well. It's got great information. I really love reviews that have got like the information about the product set out really, really, really well. So, and you know, and the pictures are fantastic. So it draws you in.
Taking your blogger hat off and just looking at it as from a reader's point of view, does it make a real difference to you, like reading a review like that? Would it make you actually go out and buy the product, do you think?
Well, yeah, we were actually discussing it when we came back together, and we were like, "Have you read that review?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've read that review." And I was like, "Do you think our little man would like one of them?"
Because
and he's nowhere near old enough to have one of them. But I'm already thinking, you know, Santa could bring him one of them because it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, because we've been looking at the wooden ones, and now we've seen this one. We're convinced that he needs one that looks like a bike, you know, rather than the wooden balance bikes.
It just goes
will easily let.
It just goes to show, though, that blogger outreach does work, even though for your bloggers you're thinking from a sort of a buyer's point of view. What did you think about the review that you saw in the campaign? And Katie, in fact, actually, they're quite an independent, family-run business, from what I can gather. Had you ever heard of Paul's Yard before?
I hadn't. No, I hadn't. But actually, that was one of the things that I sort of, when I was making notes about what I liked about it, I did like the fact that it was a smaller run company, because I always think it's nice to support them, and I do actually think sometimes that the smaller run companies do actually end up having slightly more effective campaigns in a weird sort of way. I don't know why, but I just think sometimes they appeal to me slightly more than the larger ones. So no, I thought it was good.
Emma, when you're sort of reading blog posts, I know that there's talk that you can see quite a lot of reviews around. Lots of companies are doing sort of just you straight send a product out and ask a blogger to review. Do you still think it's an effective way to do blogger outreach from a blogging point of view?
Yeah, I do. I think it needs to be targeted, right? I mean, I love it when I get an approach that sort of names the kids, or whatever you refer to them as in your blog, and they actually know the product's going to fit with you. I'm working with a company who sent Erin a doll last month, and this month sent her some accessories for it as well. And I like that ongoing, and I think that's really good. And I think it's really nice when they get to know you. And so when I'm taking on products, especially if I could know that I'm going to work with them for a little while, that I prefer that.
So what would you say to Paul's Yard and their Boomer bike reviews? What would you say that maybe they could do differently, or something not necessarily better, but if you were sort of going to move it on and they were going to do another sort of campaign or another outreach thing, would there be anything that you would advise them to do next time maybe?
I mean, maybe sort of look at location, isn't it? Where, because I see these kids going up to school on these sort of bikes, and you think if I was canny, I would be sending it to various locations so that you're hitting different targets in different sort of towns and stuff, and try and sort of disperse the product that way a little bit, I guess.
Okay, cool. So if we talk about the John Lewis campaign, they sent a group of bloggers to an Alice Temperley preview event in Nottingham. The blogs that I saw were Alexander Residence, Anna Mum Diaries, and Love Chic Living. You're nodding your head because I know you're really into your fashion, aren't you, Emma? What did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought that was really good. I loved sort of going and looking at clothes like that, and I think it's really nice to do with your girls. If I've got two girls and a boy. Dylan's not interested in clothes at all, but both the girls would love to come and do that with me, and I think it's quite a nice fun morning actually with your girls and chilling out. It could be boys obviously if they're boys range as well, but just a bit of nice girly time, and I think it's really nice. There's just a couple of bloggers there that know each other, took their kids along, and they just look like they had a good fun actually.
What do you think about reading from the point of, Claire and Kirsty, when you're reading posts like that, do you like reading about events as much as products, bloggers who go along to these events that are put on? How do you think those work? Do you think
I think it's nice to see an event where it's not just someone just talking about one specific item, where you get sort of a feel, sometimes you feel like you're actually there and involved in the event. I think when someone writes about the actual event in a whole, rather than this is what something that's been given to us.
Sorry, the baby one is there.
That's okay. What did you think about it, Clara?
Yeah, I really like events. I think it's nice to know that they're having a personal touch with bloggers, and that they're able to review an event that actually they've taken the time to put that on for the person for the products, so it's not really just about going and taking it off the rack. It's personal. It's an experience that you want to read about rather than reading about someone going shopping. It's a nice thing to read about someone's day and that they've had a really great time.
Katie, do you think having that air of exclusivity makes it more sort of special as an event from a blogger's point of view?
Definitely. I mean, I think that that was one of the things that I was going to say that I liked about it, was the fact that it was, there was just a few of them. It did look quite exclusive, and I think those kind of things, as a blogger, it makes you think, oh, it would have been nice, to go to that. It's got an air of exclusivity about it. But I think that definitely it's and I enjoy reading. You don't want to reading about the same event 100 times over. It's quite nice to read about it, and it not be, it'd be a bit more special, really.
Okay, well, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover. Is there anything that any of you wanted to add to any of the brands and campaigns, or generally in terms of blogger outreach as a whole? Is there anything that you'd like to add at all?
I think I'd like to see more outreach moving into different mediums, like more maybe video, like especially like where I was thinking of the Boomer bike. I would like to have seen it in action and possibly seen a more, it's still 2D, but you get like a more 3D effect, if you get what I mean, just by having a moving object, and I think that would work. And even the event, I think that could benefit from perhaps video as well.
Yeah, so maybe things getting too stuck on Twitter as the main, as the main kind of forum for these posts. So branching out into YouTube, like as Kirsty said.
Yeah, I just think making use of other social platforms.
Yeah.
As well. Just
you can do videos on Instagram now as well, can't you?
Yeah.
We've been
use
using
that a lot.
And I think that's you only get a few seconds, but I think even those few seconds, you can show
even as like a teaser, just to get someone to go in and
click a link.
Yeah.
Because I think John Lewis did a recent campaign. I can't remember what it was for, but I saw it on Vine. The social network Vine. That's quite a good idea. Things like that.
Vine's very sort of big now, isn't it? It's growing, people using Vine. What do you think, Emma? Is there anything sort of in terms of general blogger outreach that you'd like to see, or that you think that you can foresee it developing in the future?
No, I think I agree with everybody else, like sort of using videos and stuff. I've done a vlog today actually, so going up in a few days' time. So.
Oh, brilliant. It was really interesting to chat with you and hear all the different perspectives. Thank you so much for joining, and if you're watching, thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye.